When we first met John, he was barely walking. His feet were numb. He had a ranch that he could no longer take care of. I mean, he was really, really desperate. In his words, he had tried everything. He'd been on Lyrica. He had tried the creams. He had tried just about everything that he thought that he knew about. And I want to take this time just to talk about and give you a little bit of history on John's story. I think it's really important to understand where people start. Everybody's got their motivating factor for becoming part of the program and for getting rid of neuropathy. And his was really, really important. It wasn't just the pain and the numbness and the burning and the inability to get around and take care of his home. It was his wife. His wife had fallen ill, and he felt like he was getting to the point where he couldn't take care of her anymore. By the way, I'm Dr. Irven. I'm with the Neuropathy Doctors. We're going to walk through John's story. Today, John is walking fast. He's walking in a straight line, and he's doing over 10,000 steps a day. In this video, I want to share his story. I want to talk to you about what is the possibility, what can happen when you put the right things together. Promises are great, but proof is everything. We want to make sure that we're always giving you proof more than promises. John had a lot of pieces to the puzzle. He had used isolated therapies. He had used isolated supplements. He had never put any of these pieces together well before. And he was really confused in the beginning. Well, I've used that and it didn't work, so that doesn't work.
I did it one at a time. Things that you've given me, I've had, but I've only had them one at a time. I've had diets and I didn't stick with it because I wasn't helping me.
And I really had to sit down and talk to John and explain to him that it's really important to utilize these therapies together and to know how to use them correctly. So what changed? What was different when he joined us? Really, he began to use multiple therapies that we sent to him, and he used them consistently and together, not in isolation.
Here we've got a conglomerate of things that you're doing, and you're doing them all together, many times at the same time, same hour, you're doing it. And it's probably the secret to your success is doing them all at the same time. And you gave me, because I had that question, I've done all of this stuff. What is this going to do to help me? And your answer to me was, John, yeah, you may have done them all, but you did them by themselves.
He developed daily discipline. The consistency is it's so vital to getting the results. You can't do this when you feel like it, when you have time. He actually made the time and made his treatment a priority. And that consistency paid off for him.
It connected with my brain saying, this makes common sense of what these folks are saying. And when you said back at me, we think we can help you. We can't guarantee you, but we believe that our program, if you will follow it, will help you. And what was my reaction? Let's sign me up. Let's go.
How do you feel about that decision now?
Best one I've made with my neuropathy life in my life.
One of the really important things that John did was adjusting his diet. Now, I'll tell you, before he ever met us, he had decided that he needed to lose weight. He thought that was one of the keys to helping him with his health, as well as his neuropathy. And he did lose weight, but that never affected his neuropathy because he was not eating for neuropathy. He was not eating the foods that helped create that internal environment where nerves can properly heal. He had some weight loss, and that was great. Obviously, that's good for his health, but he was not eating to heal those nerves. When he decided that he was going to change and really eliminate the things that were not good for nerve health and add the things that were, he saw a dramatic change.
I can't tell you how thankful I am that I had a lifestyle change in what I eat. And so that's a big thanks to you guys, because that was pushed pretty hard in the book.
He lost a considerable amount of weight. His wife thinks he looks great, and she actually told him he's going to have to buy a new wardrobe.
She said, John, the diet is really working good for you. You're looking great. You got to get a new set of clothes. They're all hanging on you. can't keep my pants to stay on. I run out of holes in my belt.
One of the biggest things that John got out of this is knowledge.
Improvement, I think, also is in the area of knowledge. I know more now than I knew ever before.
He appreciated being taught about nerves, about how they can heal, how he can regain some of his balance back, reduce his symptoms, eat for neuropathy. And he really appreciated the things, the information that he was gaining. And then came the moment that changed everything.
And I'm doing things. I'm doing things with a chainsaw, and I'm doing things with moving things around in the mowing the meadows and different things of that nature. So I'm improving. My life is proving. My left foot is as good as it's been in 20 years. I hardly have any issues.
His consistency, his eagerness to learn, his ability to adapt and follow those instructions with almost childlike enthusiasm. That's when all of those things, all the things that he did really started to pay off. One morning, when he least expected it, he went and walked every morning. He lives in a very hot climate, so he would walk in the mornings when the temperature was much better. He would stop whenever he got to the point that he was too tired. He felt like his balance was off. He was stubbing his toes, not walking well. He started walking that morning. He walked over 10,000 steps. He walked straight, no stumbling, no balance issues.
I walked 10,000 steps that day. Plus I walked 2 miles included in that. I'm walking fast. I'm walking straight. I'm walking like I can't remember the last time I walked as good as I'm walking.
One of the most important things for John is he started to reconnect again. He had isolated himself from social interaction because he didn't want to explain to people, I can't do that because I can't stand long enough. I can't walk long enough. I have to make sure there's no stairs in this. So he didn't want to explain that to people because he really felt like that put a focus on him and his symptoms and his condition. And the truth is, he really wanted to focus on those interpersonal relationships, and he really felt like he couldn't. He was constantly focusing on the pain, constantly fidgeting his feet while he was talking to people, avoiding social interactions.
Because when you're at a meeting or you're at a party or whatever, and you're there, they don't know it, but you're hurting. And you're hurting through the pain to be there because you want to be there. Most people will sit home and watch TV and forget going to that meeting or to that party or to that grandchild's birthday or graduation or whatever. How has it affected that part of it? I'm going to go to 11 o'clock meeting today. We're celebrating some dear people that are in our ministry, and they're excited as can be for me to be back. And I'm going to be there, and I'm going to stand, and I'm going to hug these folks, and they're going to welcome me back, and we're going to celebrate some birthdays and different things of that nature. And I'm not going to be hurting. And you know what? I'm going to be able to sit there and talk with these folks without twisting my foot around and trying to stand on one leg for a minute and then on another leg for another minute and them not know it.
He was so encouraged to show back up again, to meet those people, to look at them eye to eye and have conversations that had meaning, and they weren't all about him on the background thinking about his feet. Oh my God, they hurt. Always got to wiggle. I got to sit down. Where am I going to sit? He didn't have to worry about those things anymore. He could freely socialize without worrying about any of that. Listen, before the 90 days, which is what our program lasts, before that 90 days was up, we did an interview. Before we were even finished with the program, he told me he's at an 80% improvement. Overall in this program, where would you put your percentage of improvement since you first began, considering the fact that it's still under 90 days? Where would you put that improvement?
80%, without a question. I'm 80% better.
80% improvement, but not just in his neuropathy symptoms. He's had an 80% improvement in his overall health. He is no longer taking drugs for hypertension. He's no longer on gabapentin. Everything has gotten better. Cholesterol has gotten better. Blood pressure has gotten better. All of his blood work has improved. The funny thing is, one of the things he told me is he said, you know, the people that I went to, because I sent him to get some x-rays because he needed to have some x-rays. When I sent him for those x-rays, he saw the doctors there, and I encouraged him to get some help in addition to the things that we were doing online. One of the funniest things that he told me is he's like, they're trying to get your book. And I said, John, who's trying to get my book?
And they want your book, and I don't give it to them because it's secret. It's yours. It's not mine to give away.
So the Keys to Defeating Neuropathy is a book that I wrote for the clients in the program.
They love the success that they're seeing in me, and they're not taking all the credit for it either. They're saying, these folks in Colorado, they're helping you, John. Keep listening to them because they know that things that are teaching us to be looking out for. So, you know, my doctors are learning from us.
I really want to emphasize this point. There is not one thing, one pill, one treatment, one therapy that is going to change neuropathy. His outcome is, number one, based on trust. He trusted me to hold his hand and lead him through this. Number two, he understood that using things in isolation does not work. He was thoroughly surprised when he started using this entire protocol that's been built on proven success over the last 15 years and the changes that started to take shape. John's story isn't special. It's not unique. These things are happening to people like you right now. You're having the same symptoms that he had. You're missing the same family outings and traveling and taking care of your homes or taking care of your spouses or even taking care of yourself. When you stop using these things in isolation and you start looking at the big picture and focusing on the cause of your neuropathy, you can get changes just like John. Hey, listen, if you want to end up being a success story like John, there are a whole lot of examples out there. Please go to all of our video testimonials. There are a great number of them. There's somebody out there that you're going to watch that really speaks to you, has the same kind of condition that you have, has the same kind of symptoms that you have. You can really learn a lot by watching those videos. And we'll see you here next time.
Today, what I want to talk to you about is what neuropathy actually feels like. If your feet feel strange and you're not really sure what it is and nobody can explain why, then this is the video for you.